Welcome to a video from DigitalLife.com. This video I'm looking at the latest plugin to be added to the Korg collection. This is the Korg PS-3300. This is a recreation of the classic Korg PS-3300 that was released in 1977 and is, or was at the time, amazingly fully polyphonic. So it was completely polyphonic, something that was pretty much unique for its time. I think they only made about 50 of them, and they've recently just created those, and they're really expensive, even the recreated ones. So it's great to see this virtual version there. This has been created by the Korg R&D team in California, who did the 2600, the brilliant 2600 plugin, and the multi-poly and the mod wave and the wave state as well. So if you're familiar with that, those interfaces, you'll be at home on this. So what I'm going to do in this video is, this is my first impressions of the PS-3300. I haven't ever played the original and only just picked this up today. So it's a bit of a journey of discovery that you'll be going along with me while I go through this. Unlike many of my other videos where I'm giving you sort of deep dive tutorials, this is new to me as well. So like I said, only 50 of these ever made, extremely rare. I've seen a mock-up one that Korg had, but I couldn't actually play it. So there's 48 VCOs, 48 VCS, and 48 VCAs for this to work. And actually what we've got is 3 complete separate sections. It's actually the PS-3100 is one of these, and the 33 is 3 of these combined with all this modulation routing as well. And you'll notice it's a semi-modular, with the fact that some of the things are normalized and hardwired, and then you can override them, a bit like on the 2600 as well. So if you like tinkering around, plugging things in, then this is going to be great for you. It's a very unique instrument with the way that the resonator filters work, and we get some really interesting tones out of it, sort of string ensemble types and brass sounds, polyphonic sounds, obviously. So what I'm going to do in this video now is I'm going to listen to some of the demos. We'll play some of the demos, and then we'll have a look at the architecture of the synth as well, and then we're going to start creating some sounds. And I'll do it the way that I normally do with when I get a new synth, is I really listen to the demos, give you an idea of what you can do with them, and then you actually can get down to some programming with it. So this is just one that I picked up instantly when I was going through the pads. You can just hear there's a lot going on there. It's got sort of ethereal, sort of evolving sound, and that's what I think this synth is really famous for. So let's have a listen to some of the phase strings. And you've got to play this really fully polyphonic as much as you can to get the most out of that 48 note polyphony. Those are my kind of sounds. So let's have a play with a few more of these synth strings. That's a lovely sound, isn't it? Analog synth creating those vocal sounds like that. I could play that one all day. So before I really go into any more, and that was incidentally created by Mark Barnes, who's been on the TDL show, Synth Chat show a few times now. Before we delve too much in the synth, let's go back to, into the patches. Let's go back to the synth and the architecture. And what I'm going to do on here is going to switch to an init patch because it's a lot easier just to start from clean sound. We can hear what we've got here. So basic architecture, we've got three sections here, a unique section, each one with the 48 oscillators in, filters and amps. Then we've got a mixer up here, and then we've got some mod processing things like extra envelope generators, some voltage processors, so those are like mod processors, some ensemble settings, sample on hold, and so on. So we can do some modifications. Okay, so I'm going to do is just turn the two volume down on section 2 and 3. Let's just focus on one. So what we've got here, we've got our oscillator. So we've got white noise, pink noise, triangle, sawtooth, square, medium pulse, narrow pulse, and pulse width. Straight away, your analog fans will love that sound. And then here's your intensity, which he says mod 2 MG, which Korg are really sort of LFOs, and it's using mod MG2. This one here, I think. There we go. So we've got the intensity there and the speed of it there. So MG mod generator. Okay, let's go across here. So we've got our sine there, so we can go through the scale, and we've got a fine and coarse tuning on that as well. Handy when you wanted to really widen those sounds out, we can have multiple ones on there. And here is the filter. So unlike many analog synths where you get your oscillators, they say 3 oscillators, and then you filter, a single filter for those 3 oscillators. Here, each synth section has got its own filter. So here's our cutoff. And so the help is useful here, isn't it, at the bottom there? So we've got 2 filter modes. We've got the PS mode, which is a gentle resonance, and the MS-20 mode, get more aggressive sound. I found I use the MS-20 for a sort of get aggressive sounds. And we're peak there, which is just sort of resonance. Let's see how much feedback we get. Not a huge amount, but let's try the MS-20 one. And you hear that's more aggressive. We've got a keyboard balance, so that's like your keyboard tracking. And expand. Now what you notice here, there isn't a sort of EG amount for the filter, so it's filter envelope. It's a combined filter, so I'm going to play about and we'll try and work out how that can work. Here we've got keyboard balance, so keyboard tracking, and then we've got these resonators here. So this is like an effect, effectively. Let's see what this resonator does. So it's a band pass filter, what was reading the help there. So you've got your 3 bands. And this is how you can get those sort of vocal effects by start to use those. That sounds quite nice, huh? And we've got some amp modulation as well. And then we've got to go down here to the intensity. So we've got the frequency modulation. So we can actually do FM on here. So there's your audio rate FM. So like an LFO on it. And you've got external control of that. So you can bring in external frequency. So if you've got a high clock, you could probably create some proper FM type stuff here, so if you can get really high up on it as well. So something maybe we can look at later. So here's a modulation 1, which is controlling the filter. Again, this is, and then I should say as well, this modulation one here, we can choose the shape. Let's have a listen. Quite interesting with the noise, isn't it, as a mod? I think frequency. Oh, there's into high frequency stuff there. And you can tempo sync that as well. And you can use an output of that for something else. So here, using that, we could actually take the output of another, maybe an envelope or something like that, and send that and create a separate filter envelope. So we'd have to use one of these other envelopes over here, but we'll have to figure out how to trigger those. So, but yeah, you could take one of those. For example, here is just an LFO, and we could take the output of the LFO. And you can hear it's controlling the filter. So if I could take one of these envelope generators, we can take the output of the envelope generator and feed it in there, but we need an input, and I would use the keyboard input of that as well, but I haven't figured out where that one is yet. So I'll have to figure that out, and then we could use that. So we can create amp filter set. Right, what else have we got on here? Oh yeah, you've seen the frequency modulation. We could go for a high frequency modulation. So let's choose one of these outputs there. Let's see that. So I'm using this LFO. I've ramped the frequency right up, and we've got that FM type there. Very clanging FM type sounds on there. So you see, we can adjust all these frequencies and everything else, all these, by patching these up as well. So we've got another mod generator there as well, which we control stuff as well. If you like adjusting the temperate adjust on the note tuning, you've got full control over them on all the notes of all the oscillators as well. So there's our sort of, we've made one sound now. Let's switch that one off and go to the next one. So we'll stick to a sawtooth type sound. I'm going to make this quite a percussive sound, I think. There we go. I think we'll do a bit of filter modulation on that one. And then I can combine that. So you see how you can build these sort of 3 separate synths up on there. Right, let's go across to what we've got here. So we've got external inputs. So we could take other things out, other oscillators out, and feed them into here as well. And external switching as well. And we can control the volume, and then we can take those out again and use them for other stuff as well. So you could probably do the old trick of taking the volume out and feeding it back in to sort of harshen up the sound. But we'll have a look at that. And we can do some panning. And let's see what this ensemble does. So we're still using 2/3 of the synth here to create that sort of effect. Let's just put another one on. I like a bit of PWM. Okay, so I've got a basic sound then. I've not used any of these bits yet, but I don't want to take too long the video. So let's go and look at some of the extra bits that you get. Well, first of all, you've got all the trim pots are on there, so you can adjust all of those. So if I go to the section here, you've got the trim pots, and then you've got the combined filter effects sections, or you can do them separately. So let's do them separately for now. So we've got these different ones. These are all familiar if you've got 2600 or even the multiplayer has many of these. So we've got, so I can put a compressor on. But there's also some really good ones on. Like I always really like the guitar ones on these. And you've got basically 3 slots, so you can, just as you have with the 2600, you can choose your accommodation. So I could go for a compression. Let's go for some chorus. We'll go for some vintage chorus. And I always like this one. And then we can have some tape echo. And we can choose some nice spring reverb. And then of course you can play about with any of these combinations. We can even have a shimmer. I think I might go with a phaser. And there's a whole mod matrix which we could look at as well, so you can apply anything to apply anything else. So I could do the controller, so I could do let's say the mod wheel there. I could make it destination to be any of these, the synth engine, so I could do the signal, so that's the signal generator, so that's the oscillator of 1. I could put some intensity on it and you should be able to see. You can hear that changing. So that's not something you could do on the original, but you've got this full mod matrix to play with as well on there. And you can MIDI map all these values as well. So I think it would be interesting to map the Kaoss. I can see it's already mapped to the sustain level there, so there's already some mapping done, but I'd like to probably through just the CCs, I'd probably match that to this manipulator here, and you control that manipulator over there. So I'm going to now do some more of the presets to give you an idea of the things we can do to these. So let's go. So I'm just going to pick these at random. I haven't been through any of these yet. So there's that sort of bell sound that we were doing before. And that's using a bit of, I think, FM modulation through there. Let's go through some more. Nice. Oh, this is nice. So here you can see we've got the sample hole, he's driving the external FM modulation. We've got the mod wheel there, because the mod wheel is controlling that brightness, so it's going to the external cutoff on 2 of the oscillators, or 2 of the synth sections, I shouldn't call them oscillators. And we've got a lag control, so we've got a bit of lag, sort of voltage processing, a bit of lag included in this process as well. Okay, let's go through some more. So we've got effects like that. This one, it's got some X and Y, so let's have a listen to that. Now this is a nice sort of pad sound. I really like the stereo. I hope you listen to this in stereo because I really like that stereo effect on there. Let's just have a quick look. There you can see those external panning controls on this section being driven by that modulation. So it's a simple thing. It's an LFO effectively driving the panning, but so you can change. So I could do a bit of, I could choose what I wanted to do. Let's MIDI learn that from the Kaoss Pad. Here we go. I do. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, nice deep bass there. Interesting to see from the notes there that uses the voltage processor to do the extra octave. So the voltage processor is basically setting the voltage an octave lower, and that's coming to modifying the frequency of the oscillators on there. And they do have a unique sort of character that they're not your traditional analog poly synth. And analog piano type thing with strings on there as well. With those three sections, it does mean you can build up those layered sounds. Okay, so this one is a nice sort of French horn. And if I do it from the aftertouch keyboard, you can hear it's got some poly aftertouch on there. This is a good example of the synth, isn't it? It's big open sounds like that. And these patches just demonstrate the capabilities of the synth and the uniqueness, I think, as well, because it doesn't really sound like anything else that we play with. Maybe you could get 2600 sound a bit-ish like that, but it's not the same, is it? That's one pad. It's got that analog sort of feel to it, hasn't it? That sort of analog warble to it as well. great sounds on there. You can get the demo of this and you can try those patches yourself, so I won't go through every one of those, but just get some really nice sounds there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to again go back to initial performance. I'm actually going to probably pause the recording this video for about 10 minutes now, because I've been playing the synth for what 30 odd minutes now with you, and I'm just going to try and experiment through things and see if I can come up with a little patch. Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I've done there. Earlier on, I was trying to figure out how to use the envelope generator to do the external filter sort of envelope trick, and I've just figured that out, so I'm going to do it again. So we've got this envelope generator here. I'm going to control the frequency of the cutoff there, and to trigger this envelope generator, I'm going to take the keyboard trigger out as its source. So now I can do the trick of having I can have my slow attack time, or maybe a slow attack time. So I can have here sort of a sharp attack sound. Let's just put the filter up. Maybe I can have that type of sound. Turn the filter down and have a slower attack on it, on the filter. And here I'm controlling. So that's what I was talking about earlier on. So that was just having to use that output. So now I've got that sort of set up as well. We can use that second generator there to maybe, let's have a look at some of these things now, this section of these resonator. It's like bandpass. And we can control that as well. Let's play about with the speed of that. Okay, I quite like that. And what you can do here is you can copy that and paste it on the second one. And I could just detune that a little bit. Or have an octave. I do always like this technique. Maybe higher octave. And then I could go for, say, on this third one here with a bit of noise. And let's apply a bit of you hear that sort of sample and hold on there. Or maybe that would sound better with a nice square wave. On that triangle, let's change that back. And let's make it quite percussive. There we go. Right, so then let's put some effects on that. So I think a bit of compression. A bit of modern core, I think. And sort of stereo delay. I think we'll have some. And let's go for and a bit of the ensemble effect. Okay, so I've got that sound right now. I like that, and you see it's a complicated looking synth. Well, I think what we're up to now, 49 minutes since I started playing with this synth. Before doing this video, I'd only really installed it and just played a couple of the patches. So it shows you can soon get into it, and these modulation processes, there's so much you can do with these that I'm sort of touching sort of scratching the surface with them. But there's always a need you find for them. So like mod processors, they're always handy for something that you need when you're trying to do a bit of sound design. And the fact you've got a few different ones on here, you can have a bit of lag as well. That's always quite nice. Maybe you want to introduce a bit of lag, so one of the oscillators doesn't quite keep up with the others or something like that. I use some lag processors on that. We haven't applied any of the XY modulation, so that's something else that we could look at. Maybe I'm going to control one of the oscillators. Let's try that, the oscillator frequency. There's some PWM. Yeah, you can see I'm controlling the PWM now from this X-axis. And there's some other things I've not even looked at here on this modulation generator. We can control the attack and release of that generator. So let's apply a bit of this one. We'll do it on this oscillator here, I think, just to fit as sort of the last thing I'm going to do on the video. Then you can hear that frequency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the mod wheel output to the attack time. To the mod wheel, I'm going to control the level. You can hear it's quite a bit of full. Right, so now I've just applied that mod wheel. So you can hear that on there. But it looks like you can control the attack and release of this envelope generator, this mod generator, this LFO. So you can do fade it, get to come and fade in and out. You can control the levels from it as well. And there's an external peak control as well on these as well. So you can see there's an enormous amount to it. This, I've done what, 50 odd minutes, and I'm just kind of scratching the surface of it. But what I can say is it's easy to program. I could quite easily take this cutoff as well. The other things I can do is I can do the MIDI learn. I can MIDI learn the cutoff frequency there, and I could do all three, I suppose, but let's just do this one for now. Actually, we've got that one controlled via an envelope. Oh, there you can hear it. Yeah. So that is my first look at the PS-3300. It's part of the Korg Collection. I think it was $99 to go from Korg Collection 5 to Korg Collection 6. I think it's $199 special offer if you're buying the full pack, and you get the full Korg Collection. I've got videos on the Korg Collection 5, which I'll include a link so because you can check out that. Also in this collection is the Korg Trinity, the 1995 workstation, and the SGX2 piano, plus all these which you can see on here. But check out my other videos for the Korg Collection 5. I've not done anything on the Trinity and the SGX2. I'll do a separate video on that and do a summary of what's new in the Korg Collection. But this is the PS-3300. Really enjoyed playing with that tonight on my first go, and I can really see some great sound potentials, and it doesn't sound like anything that I've been previously working on, previous synths. So I think that's the important thing, is there's not much overlap with anything else that I've been doing. It supports all the stuff like MIDI learn and everything else. It works in the DAW, it works standalone. And I look forward to getting it set up with the Kaoss Pad and everything else to control this X and Y. And I'm going to really enjoy sort of getting into programming. So once I've done some programming on this, I'll do a further video of sort of a breakdown of it. This was my initial first impressions. So thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed sort of discovering this as we've been going along together. I'll do another video talking in more detail on it, maybe in a month or so when I've spent some more time with it, and look out for my videos covering the Trinity and the SGX2. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you do. I hope you enjoyed this one.